Hey everyone, so in this video I want to talk about Negan and Beta because we got some confirmation last night that they will meet this season. I also want to talk about the synopsis for episode 7 and the mid-season finale because we finally have them. If you remember, I did a video about a month or so ago on the synopsis from episodes 1 to I think it was 6. I think we knew the titles for 7 and 8, but the synopsis wasn't revealed yet. So yeah, we have them now and they're pretty revealing, especially episode 7. It says so much about where a certain character is going to be. So of course, before we jump in, I do have to warn you for spoilers for last night's episode of The Walking Dead titled Lines We Cross, and also spoilers for the Whisperer arc in the comic, and I'm talking from right around where the Pike moment happens all the way to the end of the war. So I guess we'll start off with a synopsis for episode 7. It says that Carol pushes boundaries that makes Daryl uncomfortable. Alpha and Beta have reservations about meeting someone. So we'll talk about that second part in a second. The whole thing on Carol pushes boundaries that make Daryl uncomfortable, that could be connected to all of these shots here of Carol crossing the border and obviously making Daryl uncomfortable, because remember, their synopsises are very vague for the most part. It doesn't reveal too much. The second part of this kind of does, because if you know the comic, you know that this is going to happen around this moment. But I am really interested in what Carol pushing boundaries means. Like, what does that mean? Like, you could literally take it as just that. You could take it literally and like she's crossing a boundary, she's crossing the border. Daryl's really uncomfortable with that. We saw that in the premiere, actually. Carol wanted to grab that deer. She was really pissed off because Daryl didn't let her. It would make sense that by episode 7, if something crazier was happening, that she's just not going to listen to Daryl. And Daryl's like, well, I'm not going to let her go on her own. I'm obviously going to go with her. It could mean that, or it could mean that Carol is going down this slippery slope. She's becoming a much darker character. But I don't know. Like, I do think that's probably what's going to happen to Carol, but I don't think this is referring to that. I think what this is referring to is Carol, for some reason, is crossing the border, and I mean, obviously she's crossing it for a reason. Either she wants to kill Alpha or etc. I don't know if it's going to happen right away, but we do know that Negan is over there, right? So I think what's going on is because Negan is at the Whisperer camp and just broke out of Alexandria, Carol is going out to find him, and obviously Daryl is there. They have a feeling he crossed the border. Maybe they find Brandon Rose's body or whatever on the ground. And so they just cross because they're like, yeah, we know he's over here. He might start some shit. We got to go find him. And Daryl's just really feeling uncomfortable about the whole entire thing. So now let's talk about that aspect to it. It says that Alpha and Beta have reservations about someone. This could be referring to Gamma, but I don't think it is. I really think it's referring to Negan, because at this point in the comic, he does break out of Alexandria with the help of Brandon, a character we actually saw in the season 10 premiere last night. He was the guard watching over Negan. He helps break him out, and we actually saw some scenes of this too, because in that scene between Gabriel and Negan, he was talking about, don't tell the truth to certain people, and he was really, I guess, spitting wisdom into Gabriel's mouth. Like, he knows what's going on, and I think what's really interesting is what Jeffrey Dean Morgan said about him last night on Talking Dead. Like, Negan has his ear towards the window all the time. He is constantly listening to everyone. He's hearing everyone's different opinions on everything, and so he has the full picture, whereas people, obviously, sometimes they won't be honest in front of you, but they will with someone else, So Negan is hearing all of that. He understands the full context. He knows the full picture. So he's kind of right. I mean, he's telling them to rule like he did with the Saviors, which is basically treat everyone as if they're not your equal. Don't tell them the truth. They're not on the same level playing field as you. You are the leader. You're up there. You need to make all the big decisions. And as messed up as that can be, there are obviously some benefits to that, because you won't start a panic within the community. And so I think some people are going to listen to Negan, and I think Brandon for sure is going to be one of them, hence why he will break out likely around episode 5 or 6. I think it's going to happen likely in 6, maybe 5, but then in 7, he's going to be in the Whisperer camp, and then we're going to have all that stuff from the comic play out. I'm really happy that it's happening the way it's happening, because I've mentioned this before, but if Negan was going to break out at all, I didn't want him to break out in like episode 7, and then episode 8 would be him there. I wanted to have an episode with him before the mid-season finale. I didn't want the mid-season finale to be all about that. So I'm glad episode 7 will be about that. And then 8's going to be something that happens afterwards. I am thinking that something really bad is going to happen, though. I don't think Alpha will die by Negan, because that is what the reservations are about. Like, Alpha and Beta, they have reservations about somebody. That happens in the comic. They don't know if they should let Negan join the Whisperers, because Negan is saying, like, let me join you. I can help you guys. He's obviously kidding. He has a whole plan. Like, he wants to go and kill Alpha and then, help Rick. In the comic, he does that. But yeah, obviously Alpha doesn't know that. So it seems like he's going to try and join the Whisperers. I'm wondering if Carol's going to screw it up, though. And this is one thing that I've just based off the synopsis. I can't get this thought out of my head. I feel like Alpha is not going to die in this first half, that she's going to be a part of the second half in some way. And it's going to be because Carol is there. That Carol and Daryl, because they go after Negan to try get him back, that somehow they screw it up. Or maybe they don't even know he escaped. Maybe they were out on their own and they're just going into the Whisper camp. But somehow they screw up that moment where Negan is almost able to cut off Alpha's head. And it's because Carol and Daryl are there. And maybe they take Negan out, they rescue him or something. I have no idea. But I don't think it's going to go the way we're all thinking. I do think Angela can likely change some stuff up. Because I think Samantha Morton is still filming right now, and they are way past all of that. I think they're on episode, 14 by now, 13, 14, 12. Oh no, they already did 12. So about there, 13, 14, around there. Just because usually they stop filming at the end of November, so they're probably around that range right now. If she's still in Georgia, if she's still filming and stuff, then, obviously that moment is not going to happen where we're thinking it's happening. When it says Carol pushes boundaries that makes Daryl uncomfortable, we see her crossing that border. Maybe they do screw that moment up. We also got the confirmation on Talking Dead last night that Negan is going to meet Beta this season, and obviously they've already filmed some stuff, which is really, really exciting. I guess that's what the episode synopsis is all about, right? Beta is going to meet Negan for the first time. I don't think they've really fought yet. Maybe that's happening currently. Maybe that's what they're filming right now, or maybe it's already happened. If they're on 13 or 14, they could be filming it right now, or they could have filmed it. What happens in the comic is that they get into this fight. Negan doesn't have a weapon. He's fighting with Dwight. I have a feeling he's probably going to be fighting with Daryl. Daryl just refuses to give him a weapon. He just won't. I think one character actually has Lucille. So that could be Michonne. Michonne could have Lucille. This shot here might not be a dream sequence like we're thinking. Michonne might actually be fighting in the Whisperer War, and she's just using Lucille. I would really love that, by the way. I would love it if Michonne actually used Lucille and it was real. This shot here is real, like she actually shaved her head. She's a different Michonne. She's swinging Lucille, killing Whisperers and stuff. I would love that, because that would be an amazing action figure. But at some point, whatever character that is will throw Lucille back to Negan, and Negan will just be, it's like, handing him his lightsaber. And then he gets into this fight with Beta, and he's just like, he's so happy. And then during this fight, Lucille breaks on Beta's back, which causes Negan to freak out. I mean, I really can't wait for that moment. He's like, he's like crying, and it's just such a crazy thing for him, because it changes so much about the character. He's so hooked on Lucille right now. Once Lucille dies and he buries her, like he literally actually does bury her, then he's able to move on and become a different character. I hope they change it up a little bit though. Like we have all this build to get Lucille, to have Lucille break right away. I would just feel a little heartbroken. I want Lucille to be around for a little bit longer. We can still have that moment at some point, but at least have Lucille around a little bit. It would make people feel uncomfortable, I think, within Alexandria, because at some point he is going to be free. He's going to be walking around Alexandria with Lucille in his hand. Like, it looks bad. People are going to feel uncomfortable. Daryl and them won't stand for that shit. Especially with Maggie coming back, especially with Herschel there. Like, yeah, I don't know. I don't know what's going to happen to Lucille. They can't really keep that bat around for too much longer. But we also got the mid-season finale synopsis, which says, a fight causes tensions in Oceanside while the Alexandrians set out on a high-stakes mission. So some fight is going to happen within Oceanside. I don't know what characters are going to be there towards the mid-season finale. That really depends. Obviously, the Oceanside people will be there, but something's going to happen with the other characters, and it's way too early to even know right now. This could be involving some characters from the Hilltop, but yeah, that's interesting. I'm really interested in Oceanside because for some reason they're playing a big role this season, and it's nice, though, to actually give that community some importance and do something with it. Like, whenever I hear Oceanside, I'm always just like, but you look at the the actual premiere to season 10, it was all right. They were training on the beach. If it's done right, that community is totally fine. Those characters are fine. I like Cindy. The second part, while the Alexandrians are set out on a high stakes mission, that could be to go find Negan, because he could still be out there at this point, and they're worried that he's going to start a war, which is kind of hilarious because in killing Alpha in the comic, he started a war. He didn't think that was going to happen. He thought, well, killing the leader, they will all just disband. But nope, that doesn't happen. But because I think Alpha is going to survive this first half and be in the second half, I really think that, I don't know what's going to happen. I have a feeling Carol and Daryl have a lot to do with it. And I think that's roughly how it's all going to go down. I think somehow Carol and Daryl are going to screw up that moment. They're just going to walk in there and Alpha's going to hear something. It's going to cause all of this alert. Daryl and Carol will probably knock out Negan, take him and just run back, or I don't know. Carol's going to try and kill Alpha. It's not going to happen. I hope none of those characters die in that moment. I don't think any of them will. Something's going to happen like that. And yeah, Alpha's going to survive until obviously the second half, which will be kind of hilarious because all comic fans will know, wow, Carol kind of saved your life there. Or they both saved your life there because you were supposed to die in that moment. If this, of course, happens. This is kind of my theory right now. But overall, I'm so excited. I'm really excited to see what happens with Negan this season because we're actually getting a lot more of him, and I'm super excited for that. The first 2 episodes seem to be more of setup episodes because the rest of the season, I mean, you can't really get into that then. If you think about it, I think it would ruin the momentum. And also, if you're going to have Denai Guerrero around for any episodes, you're going to want her in the later episodes of the season. This way you can kind of utilize her a bit more, have her around for at least most of the season, and then just put more of your, I guess, filler episodes. I'm not going to call them filler, but it's kind of that in a sense. I don't think these are filler episodes, but we'll just say episode 2 is kind of a filler episode because obviously nothing crazy happens. Put those episodes in the beginning where you don't really need to have her around. So far, it seems like her last episode will be episode 12, so we'll see what happens at that point. Overall, yeah, I am really excited though. I can't wait to see what's going to happen with these characters, but post your thoughts down below. Let me know what you guys all think. Make sure to be a subscriber for more Walking Dead content like this, and thanks for watching.